What's good? What's good? All right, we're trying this again. I was having some issues a minute ago. Audio wasn't coming through. I do believe it's working now. And this isn't a regular show. 9 p.m. tonight, right here on Crazy Baby TV World, is the regular show. In fact, let me mute uh, mute my phone here because I don't want it ringing in the broadcast. But anyway, tune in tonight, 9 p.m. We're going to be talking about men and women, real men and women. Uh, because I think our society today has gone batshit crazy with the definitions of what men and women are, and I haven't really shared my views publicly, so we're going to do that tonight. So, but in the meantime, right now, I just want to. We're doing one final systems check before we start working tonight. Tonight will be the first of many to come as I finally take this serious journey down this broadcasting path. I've been dragging my feet a long time, and I've invested a lot of money, in preparing to do this, but never, really taking it serious enough to pursue it as a business or a new career, which I'm forced to now because, life catches up to us and forces us to make change, even when we're not willing or ready to make change. But change must come. So here we are. How you like this background? I actually do not have a green screen behind me. As you can see, the artifacts around my head, my headphones, this is all software generated. Technology is amazing now. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't know if you can see, but my arms are resting on the armrest of this chair I'm sitting in, but you can't see it because software has removed that too. But I like it. I like it. It works for what I needed to do right now. There's still a couple of more things that I would like to incorporate into my production setup. The main thing though was getting the sound right, and that was very hard. Well, no, I lie. It wasn't hard to get right, because all it required was the proper gear. Let me see if this thing is streaming now. I don't even know if we're on live. Supposed to be. Oh yeah, it's on live. Okay, there we go. I can see it now. Oh, that looks pretty dope. Okay. So anyway, I believe the sound is coming through now. My interface wasn't connected to the software for some reason before, so I think we got it fixed now. So we'll be ready for tonight, 9 p.m. right here, Crazy Baby TV World. We're going to be talking about men and women, the gender issue, things of that nature. I heard it because I heard an interesting conversation earlier. I'd seen it before, but I watched the video again earlier this morning. I thought, you know what? I want to talk about that and see what some of y'all think, hear how some of y'all feel about the subject. So that's what we'll be doing tonight. Hopefully, wherever you are, it's a little cooler than what we're experiencing here in South Florida. It's hot as hell. The humidity I was laughing because I heard something earlier about the humidity up in New York, New Jersey area was like 60% or something like that. Let me tell you something. Humidity here in Florida is like 100%. So when y'all touch that, then you let me know how uncomfortable you feel. Yeah, I grew up in Jersey, and yeah, we had some hot summers growing up. Not quite as hot as what they're going through now, but the humidity was never an issue that I could remember. I didn't truly experience humidity until my ass came to Florida. Um, and I really experienced it when I came down here for boot camp, and that was in October when I joined the Navy back in 1983. I came down here for boot camp, and we're out there on that grinder marching, and it was still hot in October, and the humidity was ridiculous. And we're out in the bugs and the man, that had to be the worst experience of my life. And then I went overseas. I went to the Far East. I served my entire tour of duty in the Navy, 2 tours of duty in the Navy in the Far East. I finished out in Hawaii, but I spent my first 5 years in Japan on board USS Midway, stationed out of Yokosuka, Japan. What an awesome experience that was, sailing all over the Far East, Indian Ocean, the Middle East. We, all through Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia. Man, I've been to some amazing places. China, we pulled into Hong Kong and got to take the tour into China. South Korea. I went up to the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. That was something real weird to experience, and to realize that technically we are still at war with North Korea. There has never been a peace treaty signed. They just stopped shooting one day. And that ceasefire is held for, what's it been, 50, almost 60 years now, more than 60 years, because the Korean War was before my birth. And I'm 58 now, so almost 70 years, I would imagine. The ceasefire between North and South Korea has been holding. But in any case, I've been all around this world, Africa, we went to Mombasa, Kenya. I took leave and went to a few countries in Africa while I was, in. It's just, this world is big, but at the same time, it's real tiny. But no matter where you go, people are people. And I found that the biggest problem anywhere in the world we go is people. Humans are fucked up. We are. But we're unique in that we are supposed to be smart. We're supposed to be intelligent and civilized. So technically, we should have the ability to correct the problems in the world, especially considering that we're the ones that cause all the problems in the world. And I literally mean all the problems in the world is caused by humans. So it's up to us. It's up to us to fix it. I don't think we will anytime soon, unfortunately. The world is crazy right now. We got Donald Trump, a convicted criminal, running for president. We got Papaw, the geriatric Geriatric Joe running for president, running for re-election as president. Come on, we couldn't do better than these two. Honestly, I mean, honestly, we couldn't do better than these two. Joe, you could have stepped aside. You know, you had your time. You know, you've been in Congress forever. You were a senator forever, and then you finally got elected to the presidency. You had your 4 years. Come on, old man, step aside. Step aside. You did your thing. Now step aside. Donald Trump, you need to just go away altogether. Just go away. You're causing too many problems. And the people that support him causing problems. Stupid. I don't understand it. But hey, like I said, problems in the world are all caused by humans. And I'm one of them. So I don't count myself out. So don't come at me talking about you're sitting on your high horse, this, that, or the other bullshit. I ain't nobody. I'm just a regular old dude like 99.9% of y'all out there. I'm not even close to the 1%ers. And I include myself in all the mayhem and malarkey and bullshit that's going on in this world. Because I participated in some of the bullshit. And although I don't have the solution, well, I have the solution, but y'all wouldn't like the solution. I mean, my solution is get rid of humans. And again, I include myself in that. Get rid of all of us. And I think the world would definitely be a better place without us. It will go on without us just fine. So, but that's that. But anyway, we're going to have our regular show tonight. I'm just on here bullshitting right now. So if you happen to log on, this is just a play session, I guess. Don't really have much to talk about right at the moment. Just checking over my setup here because some things weren't working right earlier. As I said, my interface wasn't connected properly. Well, it's connected properly out of the software. Excuse me, the software wasn't talking to the hardware for some reason, but I got it right finally. Technology is amazing, though. It's amazing what we've been able to create, the gadgets, and the toys that we get to play with that are supposed to make our lives easier. A lot of times it does in a lot of cases, but then it ends up being a bigger problem than what it solved. It's nice having all these gadgets to play with, but it causes a pollution problem because eventually the shit wears out. We got to dispose of it, and we haven't quite figured out how to properly dispose of a lot of this shit, and it becomes toxic, which is crazy in itself because everything that we manufacture comes from the environment. It comes from the earth. All of the chemicals, all of the hardware and it comes from the earth, and eventually it goes back to the earth. But for some reason, when it goes back, it's a pollutant. It's toxic to the environment. It causes the environment to suffer. Isn't that strange? Think about it. I used to work some years ago in the oil industry up in North Dakota, and the biggest thing up there was don't spill any oil on the ground. Don't spill any of the dirty water on the ground, or else we have to call in the EPA and had to get hazmat teams to come out and clean all that shit up. But I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. We just pumped this shit out of the ground. so that we can use it to fuel our cars, to heat our homes, and power our society. But then when we spill it back to the ground, it's bad. It's deadly. I'm like, it came from the ground, but it can't go back to the ground. That's weird to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we should just start going around and dumping chemicals and oil and shit, back to the ground, because that's not it. Because it does contaminate our drinking water. But it's amazing to me how nature can keep all of that stuff separated and filtered and okay for us to consume. But then when we start messing around with shit, we humans, and we fuck it up, and causes it to be toxic to us, right? Isn't that crazy? You ever thought about that? Probably not. Most people don't think about shit like that. I'm just one of those weird nerds that doesn't have anything better to do with all the spare time I have now. I spend a lot of time in my own head thinking about crazy shit, and which is probably why I'm not crazy. I think I'm probably one of the most sane people that you'll ever meet. But a lot of people live in their emotions and shit like that. I don't care about any of that. I just wake up every day and hopefully I'll make it, through to the end of the day to where I fall asleep again and hopefully wake up the next day. That's where I'm at in my life now. I've done the career thing. I spent a lot of most of my adult years I spent in the music and entertainment business. As some of you know, all of you here in South Florida know me because of my music companies that I started. But now I'm at a point where I'm not about chasing the bag anymore. I'm not about running on the hamster wheel, chasing that fake American dream. It just doesn't matter to me like that anymore. I really want to just hopefully spend the rest of my life being a good grandfather. And hopefully see my grandkids grow up if I last that long, and hopefully they'll become successful in their own right, doing whatever it is they choose to do. And that's that. Other than that, I do need to make some money, to live, to cover basic needs like food and shelter. But I'm actually planning on taking my shelter mobile. I'm planning, later this year, early next year, to start living a nomadic life. I'm looking for an RV still. I actually started looking about a year ago seriously, and I know what I want. Excuse me. I do have it narrowed down to what I want. So now it's just a matter of getting the financing together and pulling the trigger and just doing it. And this thing, I want to do this broadcast thing finally seriously. I actually started Crazy Baby TV, as I said many times before, 14 years ago, but I never wanted to be the personality on camera. But now I have to be, you know what I'm saying? Because, now, it's not easy to find someone who actually wants to take on this role. Everybody out here now wants to do it all themselves. And let me tell you something. You can't do anything all yourself. You need help no matter what it is that you do. Everybody that's ever been successful at anything had help along the way. They either someone gave them some great advice and continued to give them advice throughout. They had people come in and do certain things that they couldn't do themselves. You hired consultants, you hired people to do certain things. But no matter what, somewhere along the way, your success came by way of, not just your own effort, but someone helped you. I don't care how you look at it, how you slice it. Everybody has had help. We complain a lot about these billionaires in the world today, and, they're so rich and wealthy and shit and this, that, or the other. But you know what? They wouldn't be if it wasn't for us. They wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for us, the consumers, buying their products, buying their services, buying into their bullshit. For a lot of them who are putting out bullshit. Just think, if nobody ever bought an iPhone wouldn't be what it is today. If nobody ever bought an Android phone, Androids wouldn't be what they are today. Computers, if people didn't buy computers, anything, everything and anything in this world today is consumer driven. If we humans didn't consume so much, there wouldn't be so much, if that makes sense. So think about that. So if you're working on building something that you want to be successful at, keep in mind, you got to find help. Somebody is going to help you along the way if you're going to reach that ultimate success that you're looking for. And like I said, for me right now, it's tough to find people to come in and help because, hey, obviously people want to get paid. And I have no problem with paying anybody, but I want to get my money's worth. I want to get my value. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I want to, treat people like slaves or low-wage workers or anything like that. But you, as well as I know, that a lot of people don't want to put in any work. Most people want things easy now. And nothing's easy. Nothing comes easy. And if it does come easy, it's probably not worth having. You know what I mean? That's real. But it's sad though, because a lot of times we see people that have tremendous success, and as outsiders looking in, we look at it as though, oh man, they got it good, but we don't know the struggle they went through to get to where they're at. We don't know what kind of efforts they put in to reach their goals. But don't get me wrong, I know there are plenty out there that inherited, their wealth, inherited, their good lifestyles. There are lots of them who didn't work for anything that they have. But you'll also realize that those that don't work at it don't keep it. You know what I'm saying? Those who didn't learn along the way what it takes to gain the things that they have usually don't hold on to what they have because they don't know how. And it's very important that we educate ourselves and we learn as much as we can, because that's what it takes. Knowledge, and not just so much knowledge, because knowledge by itself is not power. It's how we utilize that knowledge that brings the power. Because you can know anything better than anyone else, no matter what it is. You can know it, but if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to take that knowledge and put it into effect in a way that's going to benefit you, then it's not worth a nickel. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of smart people out here that are broke and destitute, smart as hell, know everything that they need to know to get themselves to a better place in life, but they just don't know how to execute. They don't know what to do with all that knowledge they have in their head. And that's what happens to a lot of people in this world. A lot of people get late in life and it's like, wow, man, I never got a break, or, it was always so hard and this, that, or the other. But all the time, they had all the tools and they had the knowledge that they needed. They just didn't know how to execute. That's why you see some people, you think they got it so good and you're thinking, wow, man, how did they get so lucky? And it's not that they got lucky. The fact of the matter is that a lot of them learned what they needed to learn, and then they executed their movements based on what they learned. Does that make sense? Because if you don't learn how to do it, you're definitely not going to do it. So it's the utilization of knowledge that brings power and success. Not just the knowledge alone. You can have somebody. Let's take a race car driver, for instance. He can have the absolute fastest race car on the planet, the most maneuverable, the easiest to drive. But if he don't know how to drive that motherfucker, he ain't gonna win a single race. Doesn't matter how fast he can go. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't know how to drive, he ain't winning. I'm sorry, just not. And learn all you can learn, but as you're learning, learn how to utilize that learning. All right? Find out what it is you need to do with that knowledge in order for you to reach whatever goals you set for yourself, if you set any. There's a lot of people that have absolutely no desire to achieve anything, and that's okay if that's what they choose for themselves. We are under no obligation to be successful for anyone else, unless you're a parent. Then you gotta achieve some sort of success in order for you to take care of your children, to take care of your family. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not to say you gotta work hard and become a multimillionaire, because no, you don't. Most families in this world today are not from millionaire households. It's not the millionaire households that make the world go round. It's not. So, but you do have to have some desire, for growth and accomplishment in order to properly raise your children. You got to be able to teach them something, which is what's wrong with a lot of our communities today. And I'm going to say this mainly about the black community, because that's all I know, really. Most black kids aren't taught how to invest. Most black kids aren't taught the fundamentals of business and prosperity and growth. And that's why you see a lot of black kids growing up today, with misplaced priorities. They're out here chasing the bag, but they're chasing it in all the wrong way. One of the things that's sad about us as a people is that we don't put enough emphasis on education and you know, we chase entertainers. You know what I'm saying? The black community has embraced athletes and singers and rappers as community leaders, you know, and role models, and that's just horrible. You know, and there's nothing wrong with entertainers. There's nothing wrong with being an entertainer if that's what you want to be. There's nothing wrong with being an athlete if that's what you want to be. However, those aren't thought leaders. You know, we need scholars. We need business executives. We need, you know, people in trade industries, you know, carpenters, plumbers, you know, things like that, you know, building businesses that are designed to sustain the community. You know, we need small business owners. You go through the hood today, you know, and you can point out every little convenience store, which 99.9% of them are owned by foreigners that aren't a part of the community, and they're raggedy as fuck, you know, selling outdated products. But our communities accept it. We just accept it as the norm. You know what I mean? I can't be mad at the person who opens up that store in the black community. I can only be mad at the people within the black community that allow it to happen. I can only be mad at the people in that community that settle for mediocrity. And that's us. That's the black community for the most part. And a lot of successful black people, you know, when they walk away from that, they don't look back. And that's a shame too. You know, we talk about it a lot when successful black people don't invest in the black community. But it's a cycle of self-destruction, because here's an example. Because there have been a lot of people who have tried to open up businesses within the black community. But the black community has a notorious reputation for destroying itself. How is that? Black folks in the community don't support the black-owned businesses. First thing they want is the hookup. Come on, brother. Come on, sister. Hook me up. Let me get that family discount. You know, let me get something for free. Nah, I'm not paying you for this, that. Yeah. That's what we do. This is why successful black people leave the black community, because they don't have time for that nonsense. They don't have time for robberies and drug dealing and people disrespecting the properties with the trash, you know, wanting to hang out on the corner in front of their businesses, you know, and it's just so much nonsense that goes on. This is why a lot of successful black folks leave the black community and don't look back. And I can't be mad at it. I've had the same issue with my own businesses over the years. I've had 5 recording studios over the last 30 years. The most successful one was when I left the black community, unfortunately. And it was sad because I really wanted to do a lot, to help my people, our people. But I could never catch a break with our people. Our people was always trying to put me out of business. They didn't want to pay the rates, always asking for something for free or feeling like they were entitled to get something from me because I was black. Oh, you don't want to help a brother out. I'm helping you out. I opened up this business here in the community. I created a few jobs here in the community, helping people with other opportunities here in the community. But all the community wanted to do was tear me down. And eventually, I had to shut it down. Couldn't do it anymore. Even today, I drive around, and one of the things I like to point out when I'm riding around in the black community is the trash. Nobody takes care of their yards, their properties. And when you talk to a lot of the folks in the community, they say, well, shoot, I'm just paying rent. The landlord need to get over here and clean this shit up. You live there. How much does it cost to get your ass outside and clean up your yard and make sure the trash makes it to the trash can? Make sure the trash makes it to the dumpster. That don't cost you a dime. Well, it might cost you $1 or $2 to buy the damn broom or buy a rake and a few trash bags and make sure, but the biggest cost is just a little bit of time. And that don't take much time if you stay on it. Because you can drive around in a white neighborhood of the same income level and it looks completely different. And the only difference is the attitudes within each community. That's the only difference. I can show you 100 white folks that don't make a dime more than 100 black folks. But you look at where they live and you think these are two completely different tax brackets. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of white folks living in the hood, and there's plenty of black folks, living in nicer communities as well, But I'm just speaking in general terms. The hood don't have to be the hood. The problem is the people living there and their attitudes. And a lot of you blacktivists out there will say, well, they're angry because they're poor. I can understand why they don't give a damn. I can't understand for 1 minute. There's no way I would live in those conditions. If I lived in the hood, you would definitely see a difference in my immediate area as compared to those around me, because I would take care of my immediate area. I would make sure there's no trash in my front door, make sure my front door was clean. I walked up to some apartments and the front door looks like a fucking, I don't know what. How much does it take just to clean up? And then you walk inside some of these apartments and they're like, oh my God, somebody lives in here? You know what I'm talking about. So knock off the bullshit. Because I know some of y'all are sitting there thinking, man, Ken is just trashing black folks. And Yo, it you know, being poor has nothing to do with being clean. I used to participate in this mentorship program, and I had to, I had about 16 kids on my caseload, and so I had to go visit these kids, on a regular basis and check in on them, and make sure that they were, staying up on their jobs for the ones that had jobs, and make sure they were making it to school every day for the ones that were still in school. One particular day, I went to go visit this young man, and just as I was getting there, he was coming out the front door of his apartment with 2 trash bags. And the dumpster was at the end of the parking lot. But he didn't go to the dumpster with those trash bags. He threw them over the fence right across the lot from the front door of his apartment. And right on the other side of that fence was a big pile of trash. And it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger in an empty field off property. And I looked at him and I said, dude, what are you doing? The dumpster's right down there. Man, Mr. Ken, I don't feel like walking all the way down there. It's hot and this and that. I'm like, really, dude? Really? So you throw it over the fence into the empty lot. And that's a good thing because you didn't feel like walking your ass 100 yards or so, 50 yards maybe, not quite 100 yards, 50 yards down to the dumpster and make sure the trash got to the dumpster. So now you got this big pile of garbage just off property on the other side of the fence piling up. It stinks. It smells like shit. Got rats and all types of critters running around. And you complain about the hood you live in. You complain about the hood being so fucked up. But at the same time, you talking about, yo, this is my hood. I love my hood, this, that, or the other. But you're out here gangbanging. You're out here selling dope. You're out here committing crimes against the very same people in the community that you claim you love and hate at the same time. And then I get back to these blacktivists out here to say, well, they're angry. Look at the conditions they live in. They create the conditions they live in. It's not about the fact that, I don't have a job. Okay, what's your fucking job have to do with being clean? What does having a job or not having a job have to do with not getting the trash to the dumpster? What's having a job or not having a job or money have to do with saying, you know what? I need to take care of the shit here in this apartment. Okay? Shit's raggedy. Shit's nasty. Okay, you can't afford a vacuum cleaner, that's fine. You can afford a broom. You can afford a dustpan to pick the trash up and bag it up and throw it away. You don't have to let the shit pile up in your house, the place where you lay your head down. You got fucking crayon and pen marks all over the walls from the kids writing on the walls, but you don't discipline the kids and say, hey, we don't do that. We don't write on the. I never would have got away with writing on a wall in my parents' house when I was growing up. And even after my parents got divorced, my mother wasn't having it. So it wasn't about, well, I didn't have my daddy. Yeah, fuck that. That's bullshit. There are plenty of things that we just know are right and wrong. We in the black community, we just accept mediocrity in general. We accept the bullshit. We co-sign the bullshit. We got the knuckleheads running around causing harm to everybody, but nobody wants to tell on them. Nobody wants to call the police. You want to protest the police though when the police finally do catch up with these little motherfuckers and knock them upside the head, because some of them need to get their heads knocked. They do. They don't need to get brutalized. No, they don't need to be tortured and executed. But some of them need their heads knocked. But we co-sign that shit in the black community. We just let it go. We just turn, I'm not going to send the black man to jail. They're not black men. They're little boys. They need discipline. And if you're not willing to discipline them, then somebody has to do it. Because little undisciplined boys grow up to be undisciplined adults. Future felons. Some of them ain't even future felons. There's a lot of 11 and 12-year-old felons out here now running around committing big boy crimes and still getting slaps on the wrists. I don't give a fuck what they do with white kids. I really don't. I don't give a goddamn. Oh, well, the black kids are getting more time than the white kids. I don't give a damn about none of that. Crime is crime. It's not up to me to look out for the white community. I got to look out for my community. I got to look out for my people. And when my people are doing wrong, my people need to be corrected. That's not racist. That's not prejudiced. That's not self-hate. It's just a simple fact that it's up to us to save our community. Nobody's coming in to rescue us. Nobody. Nobody else gives a damn about us. We don't even give a damn about us. That's why I'm not with the Black Lives Matter movement, because Black lives gotta matter to Black lives. I don't care what anybody else does or doesn't do. It's about us taking care of us, just like other groups take care in culture. They take care of their own. You look at the Hispanic culture, they take care of their own. White folks take care of their own, and a lot of them don't. But I don't care about them. I care about us. And that's not to say I dislike anybody else or I hate any other race or culture, because I don't. But I love me some us, and it's about taking care of us. We can't continue to accept mediocrity in our communities. We just can't. We are the most self-destructive group on the planet. Black folks. And that's just not here in America. It's in Africa too. I've been to Africa. I've been to some beautiful places in Africa, but I see the same thing going on in Africa too, where you got the different tribes, man, running around here chopping people's hands off, and these warlords running around, mutilating, other people because they're from a different village or a different tribe. Or look at Haiti. Haiti is fucked up right now. You got Haitian gangs running around, killing other Haitians, like, and not allowing any progress to be made. You can't blame white folks for that. You can't. You cannot blame white folks for Haitians not standing up for Haitians, taking control of their situation, and putting their country back together. You just can't blame white folks for that. This ain't the 1800s no more. This ain't the early 1900s anymore. One of the things that a lot of Haitians here in America talk about is that Haiti was the first free black country in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, y'all became free, sort of. Yeah, y'all got out from under French control, European control, to fall into what? I hear people say, oh, well, Haiti still doesn't control their resources, and why not? You kicked everybody out the country. Why don't you control your resources? Why can't you all get together, put your society together in a civilized way, and work alongside each other to build the strong nation that y'all could be? Because Haiti has a lot of natural resources. There's a lot of gold in Haiti. There's, who knows, there's probably a bunch of oil in Haiti that we don't know about yet. There's a lot of natural resources in Haiti, though. And it's crazy because Haiti shares a landmass with the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is a tourist trap. Can't even say that they're a wealthier nation than Haiti, but they're definitely more organized. They're like night and day, and they share the same rock. They share the same landmass. You cross a fucking fence, though, and you think you're on a whole nother planet. It's crazy that something can exist like that. Man, Haiti should be on top of the world now. Yeah, they had a devastating earthquake. How long ago was that? Was that like 12, 13 years ago now that earthquake happened? Hurricanes, they get hit with a lot of natural disasters, but if the Haitian people were as strong as they claim to be and as proud as they claim to be, Haiti would have bounced right back. But they have no leadership. All they have is opportunists in Haiti. And they're not all Haitian, so don't get me wrong. There's a lot of outside influences. However, the Haitians have the ultimate control of their destiny. People got to get together. They gotta run these gangs out, run these warlords out, and the people need to get together and put their government together, put their infrastructure together, and rebuild that country from the inside out. I don't care how much outside help gets sent over there, because it's not making it to the people that need it because of the Haitian gangs and the warlords and the drug dealers and the criminals. Maybe they do need some outside forces to come in and help them fight these people before they can get a footing, but ultimately it's going to have to be the Haitian people to make it better in Haiti. That's just a fact. And the same goes for the black community here in America. We can't count on the government to come in and make it all better. The Democrats, the Republicans, they don't give a fuck about making it better in the black community. If the black community don't give a fuck about the black community, how can the black community expect anyone else to even have half a care? Think about that. But anyway, I've said enough. I went on a whole long rant this morning up here playing with my gear. But tonight, 9 p.m., right here, Crazy Baby TV World, we are going to be talking about men and women. Okay, I say it again, men and women. So, join me tonight, 9 p.m., right here, Crazy Baby TV World. I'm your man, Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience. Peace.